Hello everyone and welcome to the Smashi Business Show. Today is Tuesday, September 30, 2025 and I'm Abdul Majid Awan.
And I'm Ward Ahmed and we've got a packed show for you today. Firstly, Saudi's Dar Global to launch $1 billion Trump Plaza in Jeddah's Manhattan district. A Saudi-led consortium is to acquire the gaming giant Electronic Arts for $55 billion. Jordan has approved citizenship and residency for foreign investors. And finally, Trump has unveiled the Gaza peace plan, but we are going to more specifically tell you about the economic measures that were highlighted.
The very first story is very big. We already know about the Trump Tower, but there's a Trump Plaza apparently that's coming. And the details are that Dar Global, the international arm of Saudi developer Dar Al Arkan, listed in London, announced plans for Trump Plaza Jeddah, a $1 billion luxury project anchoring a new Manhattan district in central Jeddah. The project follows the 2024 launch of Trump Tower Jeddah.
Trump Plaza will include premium residences, offices, townhouses, and retail centered around a Central Park-inspired green spine. So the development aims to bring the Manhattan, New Yorkian-style vibrancy to Jeddah while enhancing the city's commercial and lifestyle offerings under Vision 2030.
And Dar Global, managing $7.5 billion in projects across the UAE, Oman, Qatar, UK, Spain, and Saudi Arabia, is positioning the Manhattan district as a globally appealing, sustainable real estate hub, reflecting Saudi Arabia's broader urban development ambitions.
Trump and Saudi Arabia have really maintained close economic ties over the year. The president's first major foreign trip of his second term was, in fact, to Riyadh, where the kingdom pledged $600 billion in U.S. investment, strengthening commercial and strategic relations between the nations.
And lastly, the Trump Organization, led by Donald Trump Jr., his son, and Eric Trump, another one of his sons, has expanded in the Middle East with projects including Trump International Hotel and Tower in Dubai, a golf resort in Doha, Trump Tower Jeddah, which we already talked about, and a hotel under construction in Muscat.
And in fact, Dar Global has been a part of most of them. So Dar Global, they're listed in London, and in fact, they're the global arm of the Saudi real estate giant, Dar Al Arkan. And they were a part, I believe, of the Trump Organization hotel resort that they're trying to build in Muscat, in Amman. And, you know, they were part of Trump Tower, the Jeddah Tower, and now this project. And I believe they were also a part of the new golf course that they're trying to build in Qatar.
Yeah.
So in fact, it was not just QIA that was involved, Qatar Investment Authority, the sovereign wealth fund of Qatar, but also Dar Global. They're really quite all over it.
Yep, and it's important that there's two Trump-branded towers now, tower and a plaza. Shows how much influence he has on Saudi Arabia and the I think it would be part of that 600 billion deal that we've talked about. That
Perhaps.
Yeah, it should be a part of that. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense that a sitting president is having business terms with the country. It doesn't make sense. It's a big conflict of interest. So I think it will be a part of the 600 billion thing. But again, the Trump Organization is a private company. It can't happen. So I don't know how they will deal with the conflict of interest. These questions have been raised to Eric Trump, I remember, and another one of his sons, Donald Trump Jr. I think he was in Doha for Doha Economic Forum, I remember, where Musk also spoke.
He came here too for that crypto conference.
He was asked by one of the journalists, like, it's a big conflict of interest. Your father is a sitting president. How can you have so many projects going on with so many government level entities? Because obviously a president has control or at least some influence how he deals with governments. And his answer was very weird and very, I think he just dodged it. And he said, no, we're a private organization, we're making private deals, so on paper we're doing everything legally. But you can smell that there is something going on,
how
he's using his
I don't
presidency.
I don't see this as dodgy. I really do think that Trump has always been that way.
Yeah.
I always mention this, but like years ago, when Trump was going bankrupt, he had sold, I believe, the Crown Plaza to the Saudi Crown Prince, the kingdom holding founder, Al-Walid bin Talal. He jumped in to save him. Later, Al-Walid bin Talal also came to purchase his princess yacht. I think that Trump has always had these close ties and will probably continue to. And I think we really see that with Hussein Sajwani. Before Trump became president, before it was announced, before the entire $20 billion data center investment push from Sajwani, the two were very close friends, to the point that you had Eric Trump and Donald Trump Jr. going for Amira Sajwani's wedding, the Pripco founder and the daughter of Hussein Sajwani. I think that he's always been like that. Remember that story a while ago where basically Trump, he went to meet with the Prime Minister of the UK, with Keir Starmer, and at the same time, at the same week, he made sure to inaugurate his new golf course in Scotland, and you had Hussein Sajwani fly out for that. I think that honestly, this is a strategic move for him. Presidency is a business, and he's making use of it. And honestly, no better place to do it than in the Middle East, where they're trying to rack up as many projects as possible. I think for me, with these Trump towers, I just really like to see one. I'd really honestly like to see one. I feel like they're all just rolling out. We haven't actually had a big official opening.
Yeah. We saw the DMCC tower yesterday. It's a 75-story building. It was a very nice tour that we had with the chairman of DMCC, Ahmed bin Sulaim. And it was a 3-hour long trip. It's such a nice place. Worth has been there for a shoot. I had been there for something.
The restaurants at Uptown Social.
And we had our CEO with us. It was a really nice thing. So I just want to know what it will look like from inside the Trump Tower. Will it have residences plus commercial like the DMCC Tower or any other towers that we've seen in Dubai?
You know what it also is?
Very interesting,
Honestly, with the Trump Tower, they better not come and say that in 2027, when the Wynn Casino in Ras Al Khaimah is meant to be open, that, hey guys, we opened it. I just don't think that's a good time because I think that the casino will give them a run for their money. I think that they should choose the perfect launch date.
Casino will give everyone actually a run for their money because it's going to be grand. To be honest, the first whole year, I think, the novelty of it, the first ever casino in the UAE in Ras Al Khaimah, I think not even 1 year, for 2 years, it will be the main attraction for everyone who's coming to UAE. And I think it will be one of the main attractions for repeat visitors because the first time you come to UAE, you go to the things which are called tourist traps, but they're not tourist traps, they're very nice places. You go to Burj Khalifa, you see the fountains which are opening again soon. You see everything that is on the bucket list, which is on every website, every list. And if you're lucky and if you find someone who's been living here, they'll take you to places which are not very crowded and very hidden treasure kind of places. But as soon as Wynn Casino opens, it will become, I think, after Burj Khalifa and the fountain, the second top place to go to. So it is going to give a lot of people a lot of competition. But another thing that is happening in the world, moving on to our next story, is Electronic Arts, one of the world's largest gaming companies. I grew up with their games, cricket, football, FIFA. You name a game in any format, category, in any genre, EA has it. They've agreed to a $55 billion acquisition. And the interesting part is the deal is led by Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, which is PIF, alongside Silver Lake. And we've seen Silver Lake has been doing a lot of deals in the region, especially with MGX.
TikTok
in the
US.
UAE, and Jared Kushner's affinity partners. We were just talking about Trump, and Jared Kushner is the son-in-law of Mr. Trump. And the acquisition will take EA private, ending its public listing.
The purchase values EA at $210 per share, representing a 25% premium over its market price. Now, it is one of the largest leveraged buyouts in history and the second most valuable gaming acquisition after Microsoft's $69 billion purchase of Activision Blizzard.
Yes, and EA, Electronic Arts, known for EAFC, The Sims, Mass Effect, and Battlefield. I played all of those games. EAFC is basically a former version of FIFA. Then they had a problem with FIFA. Now it's called FC. The first game that came out of in the FC franchise was FC 24. So the last one was FIFA 23. It was called FIFA 23. Had a big fallout with FIFA. But these games have sold hundreds of millions of games worldwide. EAFC alone has sold 325 million copies since 1993 when the first FIFA game came out, now called FC obviously, making the acquisition a major milestone in the global gaming industry.
Saudi Arabia has been actively expanding its gaming presence. PIF previously acquired Niantic's gaming division for $3.5 billion and has stakes in Nintendo, Take-Two Interactive, and Scopely. EA's purchase significantly strengthens the kingdom's gaming influence.
And industry experts warn the $20 billion debt used to finance the deal could impact EA's game investments and staffing. Maybe we'll see some layouts and some games completely being shut down, no new versions coming. But EA CEO Andrew Wilson said the acquisition is a powerful recognition and will help create transformative experiences for future generations. And it becomes a very, I think, a lot of people will be like, oh, but if no one is following Saudi Arabia's gaming ambitions throughout the last 2 years, they wouldn't understand the story. But they launched the Gaming World Cup. Now they have a nations World Cup coming, esports World Cup coming up, where teams from countries will compete, and some country will become a champion in different games. So they've done it over 2 years. We always see Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman at the closing ceremony, at the opening ceremony. Ronaldo is there. The second version just ended, I think, in August. Again, record prices for gamers. The whole industry, the gaming industry, when I was doing the story yesterday, it's 780 billion, I think. That's the value of the whole gaming industry.
But like, Majid, like these aren't even any games. These are the best games.
Yeah.
I mean, Battlefield and with Scopely, they own, I believe, Star Trek, and with Niantic, they own Pokemon Go. That is like that is crazy. That is so big, and the fact that we have it here in our region, in our home, so close to us. And I think for me, like, it even stands out more, not just in their gaming industry, but in everything. Just recently, we saw how they now have the majority stake in the NBC. The NBC is the largest, media giant in the Middle East. And now in gaming, they've completely taken over. In football, they're trying to take over even more. We saw it with that, apparently, this lady called Amanda Stenfield. She is going after Tottenham, and apparently it's a Saudi-led consortium. So they are trying to take over quite literally everything. And I think that we're going to see it in the future times. But I think for me, what stood out to me is the fact that Affinity Partners is there.
Yeah, Jared Kushner.
I don't really think that Jared Kushner has the best reputation in the world. These Trumpies, like, they're everywhere. They're honestly everywhere.
The good thing is that he's a very smart, strategic investor, so he makes you money. That's the good part about him. I remember when he came to light for getting money from, I think, QIA and PIF.
It was $2 billion.
Yeah, he got money to
when
invest
he first
and all
launched
that.
Affinity Partners.
Yeah, so that time even, I was reading someone's comment on him that he's called the Tsar of the White House. He's called the most strategic person in the White House. Even when Trump was president in his first term, he was considered the most clever person in the White House. So he is smart with that. So if, for example, I am PIF, I would 100% bet on him to make money out of my money, right? The other parts of his investment that he has links with this and that's a different story. But when you come to the basics of investment, he knows it inside out. Does he use Trump's influence as his father-in-law being the president? That's a question that only he can answer, Trump can answer. Or maybe if someday there's a case of conflict of interest, the judges and the lawyers can answer.
Yeah.
But the main idea is that he is the smartest investor, quoted by a lot of people in the White House who worked with him in the first term of Trump's presidency. So they know he's a smart guy. So it's not a bad bet. It's like some people saying that, oh, Elon Musk is this, blah, blah, blah. You can say
It's not a
Larry
bad bet,
Ellison.
but he's just not the nicest person in the world.
Yeah,
Did you not
you
see
can
that
say
video
that, but
where he said Gaza is a piece of rubble?
I know a lot of people who invest in the Tesla stocks and they still say Elon Musk is not a good person. Their like theory is that he's not a good person.
I mean, Benjamin
So-
Netanyahu did say he's a close friend of his.
Right? So, but they still
close
invest in the
ally.
Tesla stock. That's the funny part. So, trade, I always think it's very hard to keep these things apart. Like, one person I know, not naming any one of them, but very nice example, Palantir recently went shooting up when they announced their earnings. They went up like $14, $15 up within like an hour of announcing their financials recently, like 2 months ago. And one of the persons I talked to about trading, I came and I was like, Palantir did this, and they were like, yeah, I know. Everyone knew they'll shoot up. I didn't invest because Palantir, Gaza genocide, data, it's a very long link, and a lot of people say that they are one of the companies that is directly involved in providing Israel the tools for intelligence to do the genocide. So he didn't invest. So people have different opinions in trading, in generally business terms. Like, would you invest in a person who will make you money from your money, and a lot of money, and he has a proven history? But would you invest with him if he has some connections there? So it's politics and business. I always say they coincide. You can't keep them separate. But sometimes some people who are genuine, like hardcore investors, they take the political and keep it on one side, and then they do business on one side. So Tesla is the best example.
That really does
you can hate
depend
Elon
on
Musk,
you.
you can't hate Tesla stocks because they make you a lot of money. In the last 3 months, Tesla from 320 went up to 450. So whoever invested 3 months ago, 320, now has $450. Multiply, add zeros to it. You invest 3,200, you get 4,500. You invest 32,000, you get 45,000.
Look, I think
it's a lot of money that you
you're
make.
right, Majid,
right?
and I don't necessarily judge them. I think
It's just two school of thoughts.
I think I don't just think it's two school of thoughts. I think that honestly it's one school of thought, and if it's if you're a firm believer in Allah Subhanahu wa Taala and you follow Deen, and because they always say, and I'm just going to mention this, that riba is one of the worst possible sins that you can commit. So for me, honestly, what I'm actually really taking a look at, beside the fact, are you committing something evil? Are you supporting the wrong thing? What I look at is
interest. That's a different story.
I know,
Trading
but
different,
it's still haram, and for a lot of people, it is something
Trading?
serious. No, I mean riba.
Riba
It
is haram, yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is that for me, what I try and look for is organizations that provide space for everyone.
Yeah.
I remember a while ago, remember when Binance, they're one of the largest cryptocurrency trading platforms, they launched something.
They have Sharia compliant.
They launched something, and honestly, it made me really happy because they're making space for more customers.
Yeah.
I think that's really what it is in the end of the day. Can you accommodate for all schools of thoughts? Can you do that?
You
for
can.
For some people, it's not possible, though.
If you look at traditional banking, conventional banking, it's always been built on interest. You can't escape interest if you're in traditional banking. That is why the concept of Islamic banking came in, that it's not going to be riba, it's not going to be interest, it's going to be mushraka and mudraba. And there's another third one, I always forget that, but there's 3 ways that you can Sharia compliant, Islamically, religiously invest with banks and get returns, and those returns are completely agreed on by the biggest scholars in the world, the Islamic scholars, and not only one school of thought of Islamic scholars, multiple schools of thought. So Shia, Sunni, like how many schools of thought you can have in Islam, all of them say that Islamic banking is halal. Depends now. In Islamic banking, sometimes the interest rates, that the money that you get is lower. But in conventional banking, sometimes the interest rate, the money that you get on your money is more. So yeah, if you're following religion, perfect, go to Islamic banking, you'll get a little back. If conventional banking is giving you 6% on your 100,000, Islamic banking will give you 5%. It's fine. If it gives you that mental satisfaction and that religious satisfaction that it's haram and this is not haram, perfect. Just give up the 1%. But there is like everything is now on Islamic banking. Bonds, we have sukuks, we've explained it so much on the shows. They're Islamic bonds. They are Sharia compliant. Sarva has a Sharia compliant investing option. So Sarva is there. You talked about Binance. Binance has launched Sharia compliant coins, so you can invest in Sharia compliant
Majid,
coins.
you know what's so
Everything
interesting?
has a space for now.
I remember I came across these employees for this really huge, giant real estate developer in Dubai. Will not name because you never know who has sensitivities. And I remember I was speaking to them, and I was speaking to them about their owner, and I'm like, you guys really do a great job, and you seem like really kind people. And you know what they told me? That their company actually goes out of its way to hire God-fearing people.
Nice.
I think that I've heard a lot of things, but I've never heard that one before.
God-fearing people.
And I was like, wow, you know what? This is what we love to see. God-fearing people who you can trust. Because honestly, for me, it is a determiner of how I analyze something and whether to trust something, because you never really know where people's moral code is hanging.
Yeah, there's a lot of complication in if a God-fearing person is fair in business also, because going back to the basics of Islam, it's not just you have to be God-fearing, you have to be nice, fair. There's like multiple things that you have to do to become a proper Muslim. But when it comes to finances, it's just very plain and simple, and Islam gives you a very big code of ethics for business. And I think I was talking to one of my cousins, I remember, and I had this chat with him. Reminds me now, the very first thing about, I think, the very first thing or the very detailed thing in Quran about business is how you should write everything down in a contract. And the first time I had this discussion, I was so inspired actually. Any kind of business deal that you do, Quran forces you to write it down. Literally orders you to write it down. Because it's not that they're saying, so Quran, we believe as Muslims that everything that we do has been provided to us within the religion. Our culture, our finances, our family relations, everything is provided. So our culture is basically our religion. It's a very hardcore concept in Islam that whatever you do, whatever you wear, whatever you see, whatever you eat is part of religion and becomes a part of your culture, Islamic culture. So the very first thing that the biggest detail is write everything down in a business deal. So that's how there's a whole like thesis and books and compendiums on Islamic finance. The very good thing, just we were talking about it, and I remembered we did a story that UAE is trying to increase its Islamic finance industry. I think they're trying to double it. I don't exactly remember the number. That is why I just remember this part, that they want to double their Islamic finance category, because they know that there are a lot of people in this country and in the region. And with a lot of money coming in and a lot of people getting richer, obviously they'll need more banking services. And some people don't believe in conventional, traditional banking with interest. They want Islamic banking, Islamic financing. So they're going towards that. So they want to double their Islamic finance, Islamic banking industry. So
And
see, it's coming from the government itself as well.
And I think that governments, they can play a huge role in trying to usher money, and we're seeing that right now with Jordan. So Jordan's cabinet has approved regulations granting citizenship or 5-year residency to qualifying foreign investors. The move, first announced in July, aims to attract investment and enhance Jordan's appeal as a hub for global capital, boosting economic growth and diversification.
And investors can secure citizenship by investing at least JD, that's Jordanian dinar, 1 million, that's $1.4 million. The funny thing that I still don't understand, Jordan is not a very rich country, but their dinar is still stronger than the US dollar. Imagine 1 million is 1.4 million. And the first time I heard this, I was surprised. I was talking to Abdullah, he's the head of Odium here. We have Odium, it's a studio setup. You can go Google it, you'll find out that Odium is a very nice product that we have. You can do podcasts, any kind of video production, any kind of thing. We provide those services as well. So I was talking to him and I was like, Jordanian dinar, how much is it? And he's like, yeah, it's more than the US dollar. And I was like, what? I actually Googled it. I was like, I can't believe you. So yeah, that is it. So if you invest 1 million Jordanian money, you get $1.4 million. You invest in that in the Jordanian company shares or maybe launch a venture in productive sectors, you get a 3-year temporary passport which is issued to you initially, and eventually it paves the way for full nationality upon meeting all the requirements.
So investors creating employment for 150 Jordanians in Amman or 100 in other governorates are also eligible. The program is designed to encourage local job growth while supporting foreign capital inflows and entrepreneurship in the kingdom's strategic sectors.
And the benefits extend to immediate family also. So if you get nationality, your family members. This includes your spouses, 1, 2, however many unmarried sons under 24. So if their sons are unmarried and under 24, they get it. Your unmarried daughters, widowed daughters, or divorced daughters living with you, they also get all the nationality benefits and the nationality and the passport. So both new and existing investors meeting the criteria are eligible for these provisions.
So the Citizenship and Residency initiative reflects Jordan's broader strategy to strengthen its economic resilience and attract foreign investment. And by linking nationality to capital and job creation, Jordan aims to position itself as a competitive destination for global investors. Look, I think when I take a look at this story, it's so interesting because when you draw the comparison, Majid, you know that in the beginning of this year, do you know what happened in Kuwait? Kuwait, in fact, revoked the nationality of 42,000 Kuwaitis. 42,000, and this is apparently due to something that had to do with the law or something that they may have done, but they got completely stripped of their nationality. And we also saw this with the recent instance of this newspaper. It's called a Sabah.
Oh, yeah.
And this newspaper got all of its licenses revoked after its owner's nationality was stripped. Now, the reason was not revealed. He did not reveal it whatsoever. But I think it's interesting to take a look at it that way, that, you know, as Kuwait is moving forward towards, you know, ensuring that perhaps all of its nationals are original Kuwaitis, you have Jordan that is trying to create that economic push that way. And I think that throughout time, Majid, like, I know that this is, you know, just one of your daily headlines of something logistical that is going on, but, you know, Rich was telling me the story and it really stood out to me. I've taken an interest as of late in Rupert Murdoch. I just, honestly, I find his media empire to be so interesting. And Majid, you know what this man did? So Rupert Murdoch is actually originally Australian. And he was in Australia. I'm pretty sure he acquired a couple of media brands there. I don't really remember the name. And then when he went to America and he tried to acquire the Wall Street Journal, to do that, you have to be an American citizen. And you know what he did? He gave up his Australian citizenship to purchase the Wall Street Journal. And in that moment, his wife, apparently, on her way to court, said that in that moment, I knew that there was nothing that my husband would not do for business. And it's just, it's hilarious when you think about it, because this is why now the Murdochs are the ones who own the Wall Street Journal, who own the New York Post. It's because that man gave up his passport and he gained a new citizenship in America, which was allowing it at that time. So it's going to be exciting to see the kind of opportunities that come into Jordan because of that, the kind of characters that you're going to have.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, it's better than my passport. Pakistani passport has 31 visa-free countries. Jordanian passport has 47. Out of the 31 that my passport has, I was just looking at the comparison. Out of the 31, there's only 6, 5, 10, 11 countries where I can just book a ticket and go. They won't even ask me for a visa or anything. Then there's at least 20, 15, 18 countries where I will arrive and they'll look at me and they'll be like, should we give him a visa or not? So on arrival visa. But Jordan has a lot of good countries on the list. So I think if you want to travel to Barbados, Cook Island, Dominica, Ecuador, Georgia, Haiti, Hong Kong is very important. And they have a visa-free travel. Kosovo, Lebanon, Malaysia. Malaysian visa is not that difficult, but it takes time, a month or so from Pakistan. Tunisia, Turkey. Turkey is very important because it's one of the biggest hubs. It's a big country. It's the center of Asia and Europe. So South Africa is very important. Thailand is very important. So yeah, Jordanian passport gives you access to these countries, 17 countries, where you just take a ticket and just land there. No one is going to ask you anything. But yeah, if on arrival passports, even then they have very nice countries. Indonesia is one, Mauritius is one, Sri Lanka is there, Seychelles is a good one, Rwanda, Nepal is good, Madagascar. So yeah, Jordanian passport is better than my passport. At least I've realized that after looking at it. So $1.4 million, that's the amount.
But you know what, Majid, with Jordan, they've long had a beautiful history in welcoming refugees.
Yeah.
And I think we've especially seen that with Palestinians. If you've noticed, a lot of Palestinians actually have the Jordan nationality.
Yeah.
And they do say that some of them say Jordan Palestinian or just Palestinian.
Yep.
And, on the topic of Palestine and Gaza, so as the genocide in Gaza continues, U.S. President Donald Trump has publicly released what he calls a roadmap for peace, claiming that he is very close to ending the conflict, the genocide.
And the proposal, if followed, calls for an immediate cessation of military operations, freezing existing battle lines until the staged withdrawal can occur. Hamas would lay down arms and its tunnels and weapons production facilities would be destroyed. The plan also states that for every Israeli hostage whose remains are returned, Israel would release 15 deceased Gazans. So full aid would be sent immediately into Gaza once both sides agree to it.
Now, in a joint statement, the foreign ministers of the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Egypt, Jordan, Turkey, Indonesia, and Pakistan welcomed Trump's leadership and sincere efforts to end the war. They emphasized readiness to implement the plan, aiming for a two-state solution integrating Gaza with the West Bank. And we're going to specifically tell you the economic measures that were highlighted in the 20 bullet point plan, I believe.
Yeah. And the plan highlighted a Trump economic development initiative to rebuild Gaza, proposing a panel of experts who have helped develop major Middle Eastern cities and considering international investment ideas to create jobs and opportunity. A special economic zone with preferred tariffs and access rates would also be established. That's what he said in the 20-point agenda. So it's very important, to be honest, better late than never story here. He has proposed it. The funny thing is, as soon as he proposed it, Netanyahu's statement came out. He's like, even if Hamas or the people there giving this agreement to sign, if they don't agree, he said that we will finish the job even if they don't agree to it. It's kind of like a ray of hope right now. I would say that's the only thing I would say. I'm just doing the story about Amjad Masad, which Worth found a tweet where he said that when I first spoke out about the genocide, I was one of the few voices in tech. He's a Jordanian-American entrepreneur. He's the founder of Replit, where you can make apps and software. Very famous guy in the Silicon Valley, and very important that a Jordanian is in the Silicon Valley. We were just talking about Jordan. And he wrote a whole tweet. Basic idea is that he said that when I started talking about it, everyone started running away from me. I got a lot of backlash from VCs because obviously he has a startup where he raises money and no one was ready to invest in him. But now he says that the mood has changed in the Silicon Valley and people are actually welcoming this idea that it is a genocide and they're starting to speak out against it. And he urged more people to start saying stuff about it. And then comes the Trump plan. I don't know how.
I have the bullet points, by the way.
Yeah, I was reading them. They're very long.
And I know that there's two specifically out of the 20 that have to do with the economic development plan that they have in place. The first one is a Trump economic development plan to rebuild and energize Gaza. What I find concerning about it is that it says that it will be created by convening a panel of experts who have helped helped birth some of the thriving, modern miracle cities in the Middle East. I think that you can interpret that in many different ways. And another one just says a special economic zone will be established with preferred tariff and access rates to be negotiated with participating countries.
Yeah.
I think that the way that this is written, it's completely disheartening because it makes it seem like it's like a piece of cake. That you have so many people who are participating, so many people who are getting something out of
Apart
it.
from the Gazans. Everyone
Yeah.
is contributing except
Exactly.
Yeah.
What they get that's so special is you guys don't have to leave. And
Yeah.
I'm like, what? That doesn't make any sense.
And lastly, sorry, one more controversial point. I just remembered Tony Blair. Remember?
Yeah.
He was part of the BCG story. It's a long story, but very short. He's a very controversial figure right now in this whole story, and he will be on the board for peace, which is supposed to run a transitional government till the time the Palestinian Authority gets the power to run the country or elections are held. Whatever they do, if both parties sign this agreement, there will be a transitional government, and it's called the Board of Peace. As with Trump, he likes to name things into weird things and or sometimes very obvious things. And Tony Blair who is the former Prime Minister of UK. He's supposed to be a part of it. And just imagine he was part of the whole controversy that we discussed in detail about BCG Consulting. He was he was part of that story where they wanted to displace Gazans out of Gaza and give them $9,000, I guess, per person. Just to leave the country and build a whole Trump Riviera. And he is bringing that person into the Board of Peace, which will govern Gaza.
So strange.
So yeah, just go and find the 20 points. They're all on Al Jazeera. I'm reading it on them. They have a nice commentary on them also, so
Yeah.
you get a very nice, fair look at it.
And that's a wrap for today, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into the Smashy Business Show. Make sure to follow us across all social media channels at Smashy Business and stay ahead with our daily newsletter. You'll find the subscription link in the description.
This has been a Smashi Business Show, Smashi Business production, part of the Augustus Media Podcast Network. We shout out to our more than 2 million monthly listeners across all platforms. You guys make this possible. If you're one of them, we appreciate you. Have a great day. And don't forget to tune in to Love in Dubai show on Thursday to listen to Basim Yusuf. Very nice person. I don't need to tell anything about him. You guys know him. The trailers and what he said, small clips are out on Love in Dubai. You can see them. But the whole interview will air on Thursday. So enjoy that. And I think Worth will not be here. Worth is changing her days. Worth is going back to complete her studies. So on Wednesday and Thursday, we will have someone else apart from Worth. But she will be here at least 3 days per week. So yeah, wish her luck in her education journey. And thank you so much. Have a great day.
Bye, everyone.
I'll
Have a
see
good
you
day.
tomorrow.